Responsive Eye is the title of an exhibition on view at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City between February 23rd and April 25th, 1965. Who owns the responsive eye? You do.
Also by Vasarely is this 10-foot rectangular panel made of rectangles and parallelograms of black on silver-colored metal, which simply by the positions of the shape animates the surface, gives it motion, and also gives it depth. You'll find in many of the things we look at here that motion is very important, not motion that is produced mechanically, but motion that is produced physiologically, subjectively, psychologically.
This sort of thing I've used in lectures to show how the three-dimensional effect comes about. When you have square shapes, they will stay flat in the plane, as you can see it on the side of the painting, and then as soon as you tilt it, you get the three-dimensional effect, you get things coming forward and going backward, and you lose your plane, and it is this spatial twilight, you know, this no man's land of space, which seems to be explored.
This very long processional painting, it's 16 feet wide, is by a young Washington painter, Gene Davis. And the picture moves from left to right as we walk along, almost like a piece of music. And I know that the artist thinks very much in terms of rhythms, music, jazz in making these pictures.
Here is a model of a human eye, an organ which becomes the responsive eye when it's confronted with the kind of art that is included in this exhibition. We know a good deal about the mechanics of the eye. An image enters here, is focused here, is relayed to the brain through here. But that is not how we really see. For the brain must interpret that little spot of light, and it bases its interpretation upon experience, imagination, probability. This interaction of eye and nervous system can produce a variety of visual phenomena, effects which do not in fact exist, but which are nonetheless real visual experiences for us. How do people respond to the responsive eye? We talked to some of them as they came out of the exhibit. Did you find it as disturbing as you'd heard?
Physically, yes, it was disturbing to my eyes. I felt like I was going around in circles after a while. But artistically, I thought it was excellent.
You liked it?
I loved it.
Why?
Well, it did something to me. It made me feel that I was looking at things that I had never seen before through different eyes.
Oh, I like to move around, and it's a very moving show in terms of, activity. You move around in the show. You don't stay in one place.
How did you happen to come?
I had brought my children here a few days ago, and they'd been so very excited by the new art that I thought that I would come back and take a better look at it.
Without
any added distractions, yes.
John Cannaday in the Times suggested that it's one of the most exciting artistic events in a decade.
But I can't understand why. I don't think it's an artistic event. I think it's a tourist attraction, maybe, but not an artistic event. There doesn't seem to be any art involved.
Of the perceptual artists of the world, of the colorists, of the teachers who have influenced the entire movement of perceptual art and optical art, Albers is one of the most important. You'll notice in these pictures, all of them are made in the same way. Each picture is a nest of squares. in which the color is adjusted so delicately, so precisely, with such knowledge, that what one sees is not the physical application of paint, but the word I always come to for this is gaseous. The pictures are translucent, even transparent. They seem to hang before one's eyes in midair, and this is because they are a creation of one's experiences.
You see, I'm the father, and I'm not supposed to say something bad or good about my babies.
I'm kind of surprised to see people like Albers here. I didn't realize they're a powerful influence.
His influence, I think, is strongly felt through the show. I know there are artists here who studied with Albers, friends of mine and others, and I think that Albers is a pioneer in this field.
I have had to wait 50 years until people finally look to me as if they look with my eyes, you know. Finally, this is accepted. That took 50 years. So that's a nice surprise.
Here are some pictures which, just in a tentative way and not as a category, I have called invisible paintings. Because if the gallery is crowded with bright pictures, if the observer is in a hurry, he doesn't see anything at all.
I got my shoes at Orvox, and the tights at Macy's, and the dress at Bloomingdale's.
I'm in the fashion field, and last fall it suddenly occurred to me that the idea of the optical illusions where, on a flat surface and still objects, you still are able to create the feeling of movement, that it might be a good idea to experiment and see if I couldn't make some print fabrics out of it.
I think it's marvelous. Oh, it's marvelous.
But I've been dazzled by what I've seen already.